Captain James Tiberius Kirk.
Damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not a co-host.
He's that guy.
And you're watching
Geeked Update.
Now, in this episode, we'll be covering Star Trek, the captains of all of the Enterprises, and
that would be Star Trek, Star Trek The Next Generation, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Voyager, and Star Trek Enterprise.
Yes. I feel like there's more there that you were going to be saying, but...
No,
okay.
Definitely not.
Now, as you can see, our attire is changed. He's no longer wearing his bow tie. I don't know why. Bow ties are cool.
They are cool.
And as you can see, I'm wearing full camo, which it is a military outfit, and I feel it is my need to point this out. I have not served and do not claim to have.
I have.
He has.
United States Air Force. Now, the only reason we decided to go with a military appearance is because we have no t-shirts of any kind representing Star Trek.
Or any other apparel that has Star Trek or Star Trek related items.
Right. So we just randomly decided to throw Ranger Rick on because we just found it rude.
He's a sheriff.
Ranger Rick. Come on. Everyone's thinking it. Sheriff Rick. Grimes?
Yes.
Thought so.
Clearly you don't watch it enough.
I've watched every episode.
And yet you can't remember his name?
Nope.
And I bet you can name off every doctor ever.
No, not really.
That's a shock. Seeing how they all have the same name.
I thought we were talking actors.
Yes, because I know that that's Andrew Lincoln. I mean, I didn't know that was Andrew Lincoln.
I didn't.
Oh.
So,
Favorite captain?
my favorite captain?
Yes.
I'm going to have to go with John Archer.
John Archer. Now, why is it?
Well, I mean, granted, you've got the classics. Kirk
Yes.
and Picard.
Yes.
I mean, those are iconical.
Yes.
However, with John Archer, one of the reasons is because Scott Bakula played as Sam Beckett from a TV show called Quantum Leap. I watched that a lot as a kid, like religiously with my grandfather. So I really do like Scott Bakula. And what he did is he took the approach and appearance, pretty much the attitude of Kirk and delivered it with the finesse of Picard. Is what I thought he took from it. It was like taking the two and putting them together in one. I mean, I showed you a review. Could you not see that?
Yes, I would have to say he is top 5.
Well, remember there were 6 technically. No, 7 technically.
Yes, because they had to recast things in pilots.
Yeah.
For both the original series and...
The alternative characters were Christopher Pike, which you actually see in the remake of Star Trek.
The movie.
The character actually makes an appearance.
Yes. If anybody has seen the movie, they would have seen that. And anybody who would have known that, like this guy, would have noticed that.
I am this guy.
I feel as if we should go to commercial.
Sounds like a good idea.
Come back and talk about the most recent 3 captains. Can't say the first 3 captains.
Yes. Yeah, after the show. After this...
Filler,
yeah. Tell me what, this is the messiest holosuite I've ever seen set up before in my entire life. Can't wait to show the captain. Hey, guy.
Yeah.
You seriously need to debug your Holo Suite.
I like my room messy. Hi, welcome back to Geeked Update. In this portion of the show, we will be covering not the first three captains, but the most recent
The last three captains.
Yes.
And the technically, in timeline-wise,
One of them is the first.
captain of the Star Trek Enterprise.
Yes. But we're not going over timeline right now. We're just going over where they were placed in the show as of when it
And
was
speaking of, the first captain of Star Trek was the last captain aired.
Yes.
And that would be what originally was just called Enterprise until after the second season when they became Star Trek Enterprise.
Which I still don't understand why they did that. He says people might have complained.
It's straight fandom. It's not really Star Trek if you don't do it. Now, before that one, we have... Actually, I don't know why it's out of order. It's first... the next one in line going backwards would be Star Trek Voyager.
Well, I wrote them down the way that video pronounced.
Yeah, it didn't do them in order.
So then the next one would be Kate
Mulgrew
Mulgrew, which,
was Catherine Janeway.
yes. What are your thoughts on her? The first and probably only.
You know, I don't find her, drop dead gorgeous or sexy, but that attitude,
Oh, yeah.
I totally hit that.
Oh,
I would totally hit that.
Yes, she
I would
has
totally hit
the attitude of, I'm in charge. I'm in charge. Listen to what I do.
If you're not listening, you're doing the wrong thing.
Yes.
If it contradicts what I'm saying, it's doing the wrong thing.
If you are questioning anything I say,
You're doing the wrong thing.
It's the type of personality of, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. No, I'm right. I don't care if 2 + 2 = 4.
In my house, it equals chair.
Yes.
Now, the next person we have to mention is, as we mentioned before the break, the Samuel L. Jackson captain, and that was of Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Which the captain is Benjamin Sisko, which is played by Aaron Brooks.
Yep. And I wonder, when he was a kid, did they call him the Cisco Kid? No.
I don't think so. Seeing how when he was a kid, I don't think he was thinking, one day, I'm going to be in Star Trek.
No, Cisco, the Cisco Kid is a Marvel character.
Oh. See, I did not know that.
Yeah. See. Through some...
Marvel?
Yeah. Through some Marvel action.
Yes.
Eventually that's going to come into play in one of our shows.
Yes. As well as DC.
Mm-hmm. DC's coming up.
Yes. Well...
It is. It's the next argument.
But it's not really a full-on DC.
No, we'll have a DC versus Marvel week.
Which everybody has that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to cover on this?
Let's see. We didn't go into much talk about John Archer.
No.
So let's cover him for a minute.
Alrighty. You seem to know more about all of this than I
Well,
do.
first you tell me what you thought of what you've seen.
What I've seen so far of what you showed me?
Yeah.
His acting is very good. He plays the role of a captain very well. I mean, I wouldn't... Yes, I can see your point of he is Captain Kirk and Jean-Luc Picard in one. I wouldn't really describe it that way.
But you can see where I'm coming from.
Yes.
Okay. See, that's the important thing, is that it makes sense. Because I think that comes to... It should draw in interest. And it should, because it's a really good series. At one point, you see him play a completely different version of the same character. From an alternate reality. And it becomes like...
Is
I
that
do believe
part
it,
of-
like a 3-part episode.
Okay, so that is in that.
Yeah, they mess around with time travel a little bit.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like, it's a bigger thing in this series than it is.
So they mess around with both time and space? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and they do have a doctor.
Ah.
Oddly enough, he is British.
Ah.
I might not be British, but it's no American.
You were the doctor.
I'm not the doctor.
I know you're not the doctor.
I'm not the doctor.
Okay.
At this point, I do believe it's time for a little bit more filler.
Yes.
And when we return, we'll be covering the two names that come to mind most when you mention Star Trek.
The two big ones.
Alright, and if we have to tell you who they are, then you deserve to wait till after the filler.
If
we'll
you
see you in a moment.
Don't know, then you are worse off than I am.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure if you're watching this episode, you know.
Hopefully.
See you in a minute.
Man, just a long day. Just ready for a nice bowl of cereal. Hoping I have some. See, the box is open. Who ate all my cereal?
And welcome back to Geeked Update. Now what we're going to cover is the two most iconical figures of Star Trek. That would be the first two captains that made it to air.
Yes.
First off being Sean?
Jean-Luc
Picard. I was trying to do it all fancy like and it didn't come out right. But yes, Jean-Luc Picard.
Played by Sir Patrick Stewart.
And then Captain James Tiberius Kirk.
Played by William Shatner. Some people will refer to him as Bill.
Just doesn't sound right. Bill Shatner.
But whenever people are saying it, they don't go, "Oh, hi, Bill Shatner." No, they're like, "Hey, Bill," or "Hi, William Shatner."
All right. Now, when we start off with Jean-Luc Picard, I do want to bring something up. That guy has a thing, and when I say has a thing, I mean an interest in accents such as British and Scottish. And that brings me to the theory
Pretty
that
much anything from over the pond in the UK I like.
Yeah.
I don't know why, it just interests me.
Yeah, and it makes me think that Jean-Luc Picard, played by Patrick Stewart, Sir Patrick Stewart, would be your favorite captain.
And you are right. It is that obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. The way you accented on Sir Jean-Luc Picard, and it was in a reverence that you said that name. Now I explained why John Archer was my favorite. Why is Sir Jean-Luc Picard your favorite?
And same with you. Pretty much all of why he is my favorite. It really has nothing to do with how he played his character as the captain in Star Trek, although he did do a good job. You can agree upon that.
The man is a talent.
You even admitted yourself that before your favorite captain came along, he was your favorite.
He was my favorite captain. Now, he was my favorite captain for more than just the fact of what he'd been in. I mean, he seriously owned the role. He gave us a new view of how a captain could be.
Yes, especially seeing how the person before him was.
He was like the opposite of Captain Kirk. Where Captain Kirk was that cowboy.
Yeah. You had
Captain Jean-Luc Picard, which even the name tells you, he is a prim and proper captain, but with an attitude.
You know, he's someone who's proper, but will properly kick your ass.
Yes. And he got to merge with the Borg. Don't forget that. That was fucking awesome. The Borg literally just bowed down to Captain Jean-Luc Picard. They're like, oh my god, become Ooga Chaka, one of us. I'm just, I will give you daps on that. Jean-Luc Picard is an amazing captain.
Yes.
Now, William Shatner.
Not the first,
But
the first to air on television.
yes. Not the original pilot, but the second pilot.
Yes. If any of you know any of that, then you know what we're referring to.
If not, Christopher Pike, who actually, the character comes back for the remake. We will talk more on that in Friday's episode.
Christopher Pike is the person who plays the current Captain Kirk in the movie series.
No, that would be Chris Pine.
Oh. I'm wrong yet again.
Now,
You're on Fridays.
This Friday we're going to be covering the new movie. Since we're covering a lot of movie topics in the other episodes, we'll be covering Villains next week.
Next week, you mean?
Next
Wednesday's episode.
Wednesday, yeah.
Yes.
Wednesday we'll be covering
The Villains.
Yeah, and then Friday we're going to cover the new movies
Now
and
with
character comparisons.
Wednesday's episode, we're going to be covering villains. Do you want to cover the key villains that went against the captains?
We'll do that.
Okay.
We'll do that.
I figured that might be the better way to go about it.
Yeah. And that definitely tells you who our villain for Captain Kirk's going to be. Gone!
Yes.
Yeah.
Which means we'll have to do, probably not you so much, but I'll have to do more research into Star Trek.
And we'll research it together. Now, back to William Shatner. That guy literally just owned the role he got in a unique way.
Oh yes.
Just one. You have to bring it up every time. It's like the dude was having an aneurysm about every 20 seconds. Spock! I don't understand. I never experienced this before in my life. Narrated everything that happens. Just you just see him making a pun of himself as he's being himself. It really feels that way at times.
Which it almost seems like he's the only person that can pull that off.
Yeah.
Properly.
Yeah, and he's the only person you can laugh at and take seriously at the same time.
Yes. It's just like, I don't know what this emotion is, but I'm angry and happy at the same time.
But I mean, I think we've done a lot of covering. How do you feel about it?
I mean, obviously we haven't covered every single little detail, but
We have more episodes.
yes.
We've got 2 more.
And there's like Star Wars, there's just a lot of stuff to put in to a little show.
And little tidbit of information to keep y'all tuned in and keep watching to see when it happens. I have ordered a green screen and some other show enhancing materials. So we are still improving, still moving forward. I'm this guy,
I'm that guy.
and you've been watching Geeked Update. See you next time. The Doctor has no clue what's coming for him.